At the start of the meeting, I'm supposed to read this. Pursuant to MGL, I don't know what the C stand, 30A and Chapter 30A and 20F. After notifying the chair of the public body, any person may record or transmit this open meeting. This hybrid meeting is being recorded by the town of Stockbridge. The names of members participating remotely will be announced. Any member of the public wishing to speak must first receive permission from the chair. The agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, but not all may be discussed. Other topics not listed may be brought up for discussion by the public body as permitted by law. Okay.
So Chuck and Bill should say that.
We have to announce Chuck.
Chuck?
Bill
Yeah.
Rosiclerich on Zoom.
Excuse me,
You just have to say who you are.
Chuck Horror.
Okay.
Thank you.
We need to put those little tag thingies on.
We could. We don't have them for everybody.
All right, never mind. Minutes of the meeting, September 23rd.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I just read them now.
I got a couple of corrections
Okay, you want to go first?
from Bill
Oh, you got them from Bill.
Mhm.
So,
in red.
so where it says, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth paragraph, Lisa Devere requested that the commission perform a site visit to review the prospective tree plantings at Averitt Park. The plan has been okayed by the Parks and Recreation. There's no plan yet. We're just, you can say the
Oh, okay.
Parks and Recreation know that we're going.
Okay, I
There's no
understood
plan
that they had seen something.
They said it was okay, likely for us to plant there, but there's no planting.
Okay, all right, so I don't know how to change that. I'll figure it out.
And then one more, the hearing for Westdale Conservation Restriction
Yeah,
was continued to 9/23. I think that's withdrawn until they come back to us, because this meeting was 9/23.
you're right.
I think that one is just withdrawn. Everything else looked good. Thank you.
Well, they did continue it because they were,
Fletcher.
yeah, they continued it because they were gonna have a meeting with Laurel Hill.
I thought, this is Kate Fletcher, Laurel
Yeah.
Hill. I
Hi,
thought we
Kate.
had continued it, but I'm not totally sure.
9/23?
Yeah, I think that
We're
was,
just keeping it on?
yeah.
Okay.
I think that we had,
No, it was that meeting. It's just confusing.
that was wrong.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
confusing
yeah,
because
I get it.
Says that
All
meeting.
right, so it should have been 10:14.
Okay.
I do have an update for you this evening, so.
Okay. Laurel Hill was going to meet after our meeting, so that was why it was going to be continued.
Okay, so just change it to 10/14.
Mhm.
Kate, is that pertinent to these minutes? Kate?
I'm sorry?
It is. It was just wrong.
Your update, is that have anything to do with the minutes of the last meeting? Anything we
I know it's from when the last time I came before the board and got your feedback.
all right,
That's all. I basically just wanted to touch base and let you know that we've worked on it a bit, but we have a little more work to do.
thank you. Corrections that Bill gave you?
Mhm. My computer does very strange things. It tends to skip around and I'll type and it goes and erases stuff when I'm typing, which is,
Not good.
I don't always catch it. So filled in a couple of things that
In
that
red.
it had
Typo,
erased.
it's just, a new 30 by 30 barn that is mistyped. And somewhere,
And resource area delineation.
and received was misspelled, which I would do all the time.
Received was
I think it was.
spelled. Oh,
Maybe it's resource.
it was resource. It
Hmm.
apparently took out resource area delineation.
Oh, it just, I think it, well, I don't know.
David Cameron has been approved to provide peer review. Is that it? If that's what you,
That's what's
that's
highlighted.
what you corrected.
But it's the resource.
It looks-
Spelled
Re-
CE.
You know, you.
Yes.
So I make a motion to approve the minute from September 23rd with the corrections.
I'll second.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Lisa.
I, Bill L.
Hi, Karen.
I, Bill R.
And I, Chuck.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Informal, 24 Birch Lane. Anyone here?
Yes, that's me, Terry Kaplan, and my husband Lonnie.
Hi,
How do you spell money?
Lonnie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
They're gonna convert a deck to a screened porch.
Correct.
Describe what's there now.
Do you have the drawings that I did?
I do.
I was in the office a couple of times and I don't know, remember the name of the woman, but I did drawings. I did a drawing head on and I did a profile drawing. The porch, the deck is 24 and a half feet wide and 10 feet deep. And I want to put a shed shingle roof, the same as the rest of the house on there. And I looked up the degrees of the roof slant that it needs. And I had all those measurements on the drawings, which I had emailed to you, I guess, 2 weeks ago from your office, from the office at the,
We have it.
Anybody got them?
Yeah, I saw it.
No.
It came.
what do you need to know from me?
Will the foundation of the deck change?
The deck will be the same flooring, but we're going to have techno posts put in according to the contractor to support the roof. Right now, there are 4 posts holding up the deck, and these will be put next to the existing post.
There a picture of it?
So
That's the side on view. If you scroll
Yeah.
up a bit, you'll see the front view.
and what's the distance to the resource area of this? How far is it?
What do you mean by the resource area?
Why are you before the Conservation Commission? What's the,
Because I'm on Stockbridge Bowl.
you're on stock, so what's the
I
distance?
guess the distance is about 35 feet to the edge of the dock.
What is
Yeah,
If they're
I already,
enclosed existing structure.
we're looking at the plan that you sent.
okay, all right.
But I think if they're in, it's already existing structure and they're just screening it in,
Mm,
they're
Yeah,
not
but-
changing,
They've gotta put in more
they're not
posts.
encroaching anymore on the wetland or on
They've
the
gotta put in-
resource area.
She said we have to put in no posts.
And I would want
That's-
to,
know it.
I
That's
would,
as non-invasive as you can ask.
Right, I know.
I would still want to see it.
But do you need
You want to see it?
Yeah, I would want to see it.
Could we do a site visit, just do a quick look to see where you are in relation to the lake?
Yes,
Uh,
I'm not there, but you're welcome to go on the property and look at it.
24 Birch Lane.
It's in Beechwood.
Okay,
Originally, when I went into the office, to talk to the building inspector, he told me to do drawings and this is what I did. He sent me a whole bunch of information and originally said I did not have to meet with you, but then I guess he asked someone from your committee and they said yes, so I'm doing what I was told to do.
I have
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you.
We're just gonna look at your relationship to the lake, I think. It's not gonna get any larger. It's not gonna get any closer.
No,
Yeah.
it's actually smaller than, I'm not going to the edge of the deck. I would need an aerial view to show you, I guess.
And once it's a screened-in porch, do you have plans to do anything further
No.
with it? Because that would be my concern, that 5 years from now it becomes,
No, I would not be doing that. I just don't want the gnats and the mosquitoes. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
All right, we'll do a swing through and look at it. I don't know if everybody has to do a site visit, but
We have site visits on Friday for
whereabouts?
Everett.
Everett Lake.
And then we're gonna go to the boat ramp, so that would be 4.
Yeah,
We're gonna swing by after that.
sure.
Okay.
So am I notified by email or how do I get notified?
Yes. You will be notified by email.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
welcome. Let me, look at you afterwards.
Okay, tack it down.
Mm-hmm. 32 Lake Drive, landscaping shoreline.
Hi, this is Maureen Monteleone. Thanks for listening. I'm looking to excavate and build a retaining wall to kind of help with some of the lakeside trees and just shore up the since I've lived here for the past 5 years, I guess I've seen a lot of erosion. So looking at trying to preserve the shoreline along my property. And what I want to do is similar to the Rivest that are 2 houses down that you've worked with them. So it's a Goshen wall. The same company is doing it. And I do apologize. I haven't provided like the plan and all of that stuff. So just on these early stages, trying to figure out what I need to provide to the Conservation Committee. And the company would like to maybe put some footings for this wall in before the winter comes. So
We're gonna need drawings, some sort of drawings of what exactly and where exactly this is gonna be. Preferably height and depth as well. Are there any trees to be removed?
no trees to be removed.
And can you also give us a planting plan for what you want to be planting?
I'll ask the landscape company if they can provide that, like more specifics. They just talked about, and I've seen it, some encouraging plans for things that help with erosion. So I'm sure they'll find the right plants that would assist with that.
All right,
But as far as like any kind of like footings or things like that, I guess I have more work to do before you guys can talk to me about that.
yeah, we're gonna need to see more detail than we have right now.
And you're talking about putting a retaining wall right at the shore of the lake?
Yeah, right now, and I'll provide you with pictures and sort of what I'm trying to do, but the roots are really kind of, as I said, popping up, and some of the trees are actually leaning towards the lake. So it's sort of hopefully to preserve these trees and the grade of the shoreline to improve that.
All right. This is what we need. We need your plans, drawings, whatever your landscaper is gonna propose for you.
Pictures.
Yeah, pictures of what you're gonna do, if you can do that.
Of the
What's there?
Yeah, and if-
Yeah.
It's there.
we're gonna need to see this before you start,
And,
okay?
and are you working right on the bank of the shore?
Well, I'm on the outlet, so it is, I mean, that they would put the, silt down and so it's a little bit, a short buffer, but it's pretty close to the water's edge where these
Yeah.
trees are.
Yes.
We need to get there before they start.
Right, but if they're working that close.
It's an NOI.
We need an NOI.
Yeah.
And we need an official notice of intent if you're working right in the bank of the shore.
Okay,
So that's a formal application.
okay, and that would be, available on the website, I guess, or,
Yes, it's on the DEP website. It's a notice of intent.
okay,
I think it may be on the town website as well, but it's the notice of intent.
And also, if you could let your landscapers know that we like to see native plantings,
Must have.
must have native plantings.
okay.
But it sounds like you're trying to do a really nice project, so it's great.
Yeah, I think it'll be an improvement, but just want to kind of make sure I, get all the necessary background stuff down here. So that's very helpful. I appreciate your time, and I'll get in touch with them and try to submit it for your next meeting or ahead of time and do this again, I guess.
Yeah, if you're trying to model after what Rachel and Steve did, we loved it.
Okay, good. It's the same company, and I loved that too. So was looking for something very similar. So hopefully it wouldn't be that difficult for them to provide the information you need. Sounds like they already know.
Great. Thank you.
All right, when you get that all together, come back and
Thanks.
see us.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
Bye now. Mass Department of Fish and Game.
You're here next,
Continue to the 20th.
Continued.
We had another email from an abutter, or sort of butter,
For,
concerning the project
Oh.
and the scope, which I passed on to David and George.
all right, continued. Westdale Conservation Restrictions, Loveless property.
Hey,
Kate,
I'm here.
update?
Yeah, so basically, we worked on it a little more. The wording still needs a little bit more work, but I've incorporated wording on the fire based on the discussion we had, use of fire. Also camping and, overnight use. And then the idea that ensuring that the Stockbridge Mohican are contacted in the event of any archaeological investigations. That may be just sort of that may be something that happens anyway as part of Mass Historical, as part of their involvement, but, I'm working on getting something in there, and I assume that eventually when this gets to the point where the state takes a look, they would be able to comment on that. So that's where we are at this point. It's in process.
all right.
Thank you for making those changes.
And Lisa, I sent you a copy. You had asked about the sort of the balance of approvals between
Right.
at the grantee level.
Mhm.
And I sent the template from the state that's available online so that you could take a look at that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any questions at this point?
I don't.
Not at the moment, as you develop your plan.
What's your timeline, do you think, Kate? We
Um,
have right
I'm
now.
waiting. I'm sorry?
We have right now that you were continued to this meeting. Do you, what do you sort of anticipate that have your timeline?
When's your next meeting?
The 28th. Do you want to go into November?
No, why don't you continue it to the 28th, then
Okay.
I'll try to get the wording that I'm waiting on
Okay.
and the data that I'm waiting on. So that- Try to move this along, okay?
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.
44 Interlaken Road, 30 by 30 barn. Holland,
Good evening.
good evening.
For your record, Jim Smith with SK Design Group, here on behalf of Lucy Holland. She has a home at 44 Interlaken Road. The property is a 3.4 acre parcel. It has property on both sides of Larrywog Brook, which is the outlet to the bowl, and which is also a perennial stream and a river. So we've looked at this as both buffer zone and as riverfront area. The proposal is at the end of the existing gravel driveway to construct a barn structure, a 30 by 30 barn structure, to offset that activity in the riverfront, which is currently lawn area. It's a manicured lawn area. There happens to be another lawn area that's in the forest, surrounded by forest on the property, that we propose to plant and use as an offset to mitigate the proposal for the garage. The barn actually replaces an older and smaller structure that was in a similar location. And the idea is to construct a new building there. So if you do the math, you have a requirement because it's mitigation. So it's not restoration. This area being lawn is not considered degraded. So that we have to do mitigation rather than restoration. And mitigation is required at a 2-to-1 ratio. So when we did the square foot numbers, we were required to have approximately 1,100 square feet of improved or mitigated area. And we have approximately double that as a proposed, because under redevelopment standards, as you know, there also has to be an improvement. So of the 5 requirements, one of them is that you have to have an improvement. So we meet that, we believe, because we've oversized our mitigation. So that's the proposal. And all of that mitigation area falls within the inner riparian zone. So we believe it's valuable real estate as it relates to the stream.
So does the lawn currently go right to the stream?
This lawn, there's actually just a carved out lawn area in the forest. No, this is wooded.
Oh, that's what it.
And there's photographs in the
Okay.
notice of intent that kind of illustrate that. And this is your edge of woods, if you follow my finger on here, so that this is really right next to the driveway where they currently park, you park their cars, and it's a proposed barn in that spot right next to the driveway.
So there's no new drive going to
No.
the barn. It's
No,
right to the edge of
we're
the.
putting it right on the edge of it. It's just as you orientate the building along the edge of the driveway there, so you can still park, a few cars. It puts just a corner in the inner riparian, but most of it and the entire property, the entire back of the property is in the riverfront. So to kind of utilize the existing driveway, it puts the building kind of replacing the old one right in that lawn area.
But it's closer to the stream, right? It's closer to the river, the new one?
The new ones will just a bigger footprint. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't write these regulations in English and they're always so hard.
Yeah, I'm happy to go over it with you.
So,
Sure.
yeah, where it says within the riverfront area,
Yeah.
proposed work shall not be located closer to the river than existing conditions.
Right. So we believe that the existing conditions would be this edge of forest where it's mowed and manicured. That because all habitat value, like if, for example, if you look at the preface to the bordering land subject to flooding, it actually states in the regulations that lawn area, for example, has no habitat value. No, it's so from our perspective, this is our line of encroachment, which would be that corner would be the distance in our estimation as to the existing encroachment to the natural wooded forest.
But, and I'm sorry if I'm not understanding that. So the existing barn is 120 feet from the stream. right?
Yes,
And the new barn is 93 feet
that's right.
upstream, so it's,
The building is closer than the old building, but it's not closer than the existing line of encroachment. Because I believe that's the altered area, which was the area that's been cleared historically.
What is between the new addition, the barn, and that area, what is in that area? The lawn?
So this area in here is lawn. There's a small path that's mowed, and then this is all mowed lawn. And there's photographs right in the notice of intent that show that, area as being, well-maintained lawn and a turf lawn. So that's the mitigation area. This is the lawn. If you're standing in the garage, this is kind of where the garage would be built, but it's all an existing in lawn area. And this is the area that we're going to actually recreate. So we have riverfront plantings. There's 48, there's 70 plantings we propose in that area. That would be right in the forest.
We're usually concerned with the building and how close that is to a resource area.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, in this case, it's built in that location just out of practicality because that's where the existing gravel driveway is. And it's in a existing lawn, which, doesn't have a lot of.
That's part of my question. What is there now?
Where the building is going is all turf lawn. It's right on the edge of the
So
driveway.
no trees to be
No
cut down
trees to
through
be cut.
there?
Nope.
and did you give a plant list?
Yes, right here on the plan.
But it's not. Is it in here?
It's not in the narrative, it's on the drawing.
Is there any elevation changed for this barn? Does it
There's
higher than the existing barn?
yes, we can accommodate that with the foundation. There's a couple of feet. There's like 2 or 3 feet across. The back wall can just be a little taller.
So there's 4 shrubs. And the rest is ferns and there's a spice bush. Can we, I would want to see it. And
Sure.
No, I mean, I would want to go. see
Oh,
it.
absolutely. I expected that. I was hoping Matt's actually meeting with you on Averick
How far is it from water?
and from my office on Friday.
That makes it 5 site visits.
Oh, busy. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That we end up being real late by the time we get
And
to
it's
the.
gonna be
pub.
dark by the time that would be the 5th site visit. Right?
I'm
Pretty-
Yes, sir.
Again, the old shed is how far from the?
So it's 120 feet. It's right here on the plan. It's that square. And the new one's built right mostly on top of it, just as the driveway has been squared off to accommodate vehicles.
So it's not going any closer.
It is.
It is actually closer, just it's on the edge of the driveway. The building's bigger. The old garage was 320 square feet. It was more like a large shed. And now they're proposing a small barn, which is 900 square feet, 30 by 30.
We set up a site visit.
We do have a file number from DEP and there were no comments. I don't know if you've seen that. I do have a copy if you'd like it.
No, we got it. Thank you.
But as far as the performance standards, there's no habitat. There's, if you kind of run down the checklist, there's no other, bordering land subject to flooding. It's not in any of those. There's no priority. There's no estimated. It's not an outstanding resource water. We have no other resource areas to mention or deal.
You have the big one.
Just the riverfront, yeah.
The riverfront.
Yes, it's a big one, but we think because we're in a lawn area, and we meet the standards. Overall, the thing that we look for, I mean, and jurisdictions are different, but statewide, it's really the percentage, and this is a very low percentage. So if we're at 4.3% on the property, so that we, typically as we push against, and obviously the more urbanized areas, but as we push against that 10% number, then the issue becomes much more difficult. But in this case, this is 0.7% of the riverfront. It's a very small percentage. And because we're under the 10, we believe that the project will not have a negative impact on the resource.
All right, I need to catch up on whether the site visits start. Or the first,
3:15, we're doing it.
where,
Averick Park, and then 5 Averick. And then we were going to go to the boat ramp and look at that again before the next meeting, and then we just added
The
on
first have Averick Park. And we have
5 Averick.
5 Averick Road, which is sort of right around the corner. Then we have the boat ramp.
And 24 Birch.
And then we have
Are we meeting
24
any-
Birch Lane.
are we meeting anybody at the boat ramp?
No,
It was just us.
just taking a look at it.
But then we added 24 Birch Lane.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast we can get from one to the other one.
And it's dark.
Yeah, it's dark
It's
earlier
dark
now.
earlier.
Can we
I would
start a
think
little early?
5 is.
Well,
I
it gets
can't,
dark by around 6. 6:30.
no, I mean, 5 site visits is a lot
And I have
Yeah.
a conflict, I'm not gonna be able to do this.
on
Okay.
Friday.
I can do it, but what time are we gonna start? Because it does.
3:15
3:15.
I have to work.
at Averick Park. And that shouldn't take very long. Lisa will just tell us sort of what she had in mind,
Okay.
right?
I'll show you the site. I don't have plantings in
Oh,
mind.
okay.
I'll show you the site.
So that should be quick.
3:15, I'm sorry, what number? At
Averick Park.
At 5 Averick?
No.
No,
then we go to
Averick Park.
Oh,
Starts at Averick Park and then we go to 5 Averick, which
If you
is.
go 183, Havelock Road goes off across, there are 2 bridges, one of them still out.
right,
The new bridge, the park's right out across that first bridge.
okay.
Why would we fix one bridge and not the one?
I don't know. It's only
I
mystery.
think the people who live up there don't want it fixed. I think they're happy with the way it is. I think that's part of it.
People that are now on the bypass to the road aren't as happy.
True.
All right. I can't see us getting to that on Friday.
Okay. Is there a chance to have a site visit for the next meeting?
We could.
Monday?
You tell us when you can do it, we'll be there.
Monday, we have Kampusabag,
And yoga.
and yoga. It's not Monday. I can do
It's
next.
really
I
important.
can do the,
I'm not here to argue any of that. I have a wife at home. Yeah.
I'm going to my great-grandchild's first birthday.
and you can't do
Out of
Thursday.
town.
Following Friday is the 24th.
Mhm.
Tuesday.
I can't
Friday
do
afternoons
Tuesday.
are not great times to be doing this, I gotta say.
Okay,
Can't do
I can't do
Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday. And Sally has yoga Monday and Thursday.
How about
Do
this?
we want to start earlier this Friday?
I'm at work till 3.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry.
Sorry, but it's pushing it for me to even get there.
Friday.
The 24th.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I won't be. in
I'm
town.
retired.
I'm out of town. I'm in Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
I'm good.
On the 24th,
3:15?
15. Okay.
Does that work for you, Jim?
Sure. I borrow your pen for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Where we going?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So I can,
I think we'll take a look at it and any differences, we'll try to iron them out for you. Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, okay. Everybody got that? Friday the 24th, 3:15, 44 Interlaken Road. Marion Fathers. First site.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I'm Lucy Holland. I look
Yes.
forward to seeing you.
Hi, Lucy.
The next week, okay?
That I don't think. So Brian Sider, civil and civil engineer with Foresight Land Services. I just want to start off, apologize for not being at the previous meetings. I was under the impression waiting for NHESP. Did get their response after having a biologist, a botanist actually go to the site and look at the project. So this is for the pump house. So we requested a notice of intent to sort of retroactively permit what had been more or less completed under an emergency permit. I did review the last meetings on YouTube, and I think the discussion really is about what the nature of the actual emergency was and whether it had been abated or not. I think there was a little misunderstanding about that. The actual emergency is that they have a rental pump, but it's not winterized. So they needed to get the building completed and enclosed for the new pump, insulated before it starts to freeze, which it's more or less beginning to do now. So I think within the first 30 days, they had trenched this line across the field. They had put in the concrete pad for the pump house. And then obviously there's some ground disturbance around that due to that. And a pile of dirt, which I think has been removed now. Throughout that process, I think after there was some concern with it, they beefed up their silt fence. I think that was now has been mitigated better. I think originally maybe there were some issues with some heavy storms where it was maybe a bit undersized. So I just want to clarify that a lot of that work was done in August to get that pad in to do the trench, which I think was called sort of a roadway across the field. That was the actual trench itself. And then they hydroseeded it, the whole thing. So it's been stabilized now. The ground disturbance really stopped after that point in anticipation of getting this retroactive notice of intent. And part of natural heritage, getting the notice of intent application, they were upset that they didn't have notice of the emergency permit, but nowhere in that emergency permit section is there any requirement, I think, to notify them. So it just hadn't been done.
I think the thing that they were concerned about was that they had not been the ones to issue the emergency, or it was not part of the process. And I had written to Lauren telling her that it was the fire chief that had issued the emergency. So that was clarified.
Okay. Right. And I mean, we certainly would have included them if we knew that there was a specific concern about few flowered sedge. The botanist that did go out there did find some, but it's more along the pond edge.
Was it
And
where
it's,
the pile was? Because that was the concern too, that the pile of dirt was on top of the.
I think there was some communication from, was it Jess Toro? That it had been seen in that area before. I don't know whether or not that's the case. It's certainly a little mapped area here, but the botanist was pretty clear, and he's the one that actually first identified it in Massachusetts, in Berkshire County, up in Pittsfield. But he found it around the pond. But he said it's senescent, which means that it's sort of aging. It's not reproducing. It's toward the end of its life, but it is present, but not within the project area. So that's what his report said. We sent that back to Natural Heritage. They issued a certificate saying that there was a no take by this project. So I think that's really what we were waiting for the last month and a half. Certainly the emergency permit expired during that time period, but I think a lot of the groundwork had been completed before that actually expired. Whether or not that's true, I think it's neither here nor there now, but the idea is to get the notice of intent approved, to condition it, to finish the work, clean up the area that's been regraded for that pump house, and to have it retroactively permitted. And again, it's an improvement over the old pump house. That'll be removed. They'll get rid of the rental pump that's sitting there now, and they'll no longer be drawing out of the pond. So it's now off of the municipal water tank, which is also going to provide them with much cleaner water from their fire system, which also serves Nomkeg and a few other houses.
We just had concerns that work was still going on after the emergency certification had expired. We also had concerns about the mound, which you knew about, and that reports that it was sitting on top of some threatened or endangered plant.
Did this whole
I was, excuse me, I was there today and the work, they're still working. I mean, there was a contractor's van there that said something about framing, and there were people inside the pump house working. And last time I went there, again, after the emergency order expired, before we had any visit to the commission, they were working on the site before any building went up. So it seems like part of the consideration here is that no one's been paying attention to what we have been saying. Okay. It didn't come before us, didn't explain why. There's a lot of good reasons why you might want to get that pump house underway. But you were free to come with a notice of intent, free to come before us and ask questions, free to inform us what was going on, and nobody did. So we basically, feel like, who's actually in charge and who is ignoring things that should not be ignored with regard to permitting.
Yeah, and I would say they definitely have a recognition that, again, there was some things that didn't get clarified in the beginning, but a lot of the groundwork did cease as soon as we got an email about the mitigation, and then at that point, the silt fence was beefed up. But I think the notice of intent was submitted pretty early. It's just that it's been delayed based on the waiting for natural heritage. So I did review the last meetings, but I didn't come
They
to
shouldn't
those
have been
meetings because
working.
we didn't have an update.
They shouldn't have been working.
And my understanding is that the work was being done on the pad that had been poured. So it's superstructure within the pad, not additional groundwork beyond trenching and putting in that actual concrete pad.
It's not supposed to be worked on at all without a permit. Unless I misunderstand, there is no permit to do any work other than the specific stuff that was mentioned in the emergency order, and that expired. There was no request to extend that emergency order. And so it's been business as usual, even though there is no permit.
And the timing is off too. I mean, we saw it on August 15th after another site visit with Jess Toro, where she said, you need to come and look at Eden Hill. And that was August 15th. I'm looking at the copy of the notice of intent, which was received at Town Hall not till August 20th. So, there's just, the timing kind of stinks.
The idea was to get it in before the emergency permit expired, but that timing was waiting for mostly questions from the mechanical engineer as to finalizing the design of the fire suppression system. So there was some delay in getting the notice of intent in, and I know that it was based on that, is that we didn't have final details.
Yeah.
So I see David's hand is up, and then I had a question too after David.
David?
Hello.
Hello.
So I did an inspection of the site on October 2nd, and I didn't see any incursions into Campusa Bog. I saw unstable soils around the new pump house, and I think there could be improvements in terms of soil stabilization there, whether it's like throwing down some wood chips or straw or something to keep that stuff from migrating down towards Campusa Bog. The straw wattles and the silt fence were intact and they seem to be doing their job. I didn't see any release of sediments beyond that. But so in practical terms, I completely understand the commission's concerns about these guys doing work beyond the scope of the emergency certification. But I don't see that there's actually been any impacts, any practical impacts to Camp Bog. But if I were the commission, what I would be wanting to see is better soil stabilization. The entire footprint around the pump house is exposed soils that are eroding down towards the straw wattles. And whether they put some wood chips down or straw or something to stabilize that stuff, that's what I'd be wanting to see. But I didn't see any actual impacts based on my inspection on October 2nd.
But we've had rain since, I walk up there almost every day. I walk up and around. That's my walk. And we've had a lot of rain in the last couple of days.
So how does it look after the rain?
Muddy.
Muddy, like it shouldn't look.
The idea is
Yeah.
to.
So if I were one of the contractors working on that project, I wouldn't want to be walking in a bunch of mud around the footprint of that pump house. And the way to get around that is to put some kind of soil stabilization down there, whether it's wood chips or straw or something, to kind of abate the erosion down towards the straw wattles. There was definitely sediment that was like building up along the straw wattles down there. I didn't see any breach into Camp Bog. I did not see any actual impacts to wetlands, but I do understand the commission's concerns about these guys doing work beyond the scope of the emergency certification. I don't think there were actually any impacts, but I think they could beef up the sedimentation erosion controls.
I think part of our concerns is history, that we have seen a number of projects that were done up on Eden Hill that exceeded or were contrary to what they were permitted to do. So we are concerned about this being something that we see a lot. I mean, and we've had a number of projects. There was one in particular that was the parking lot, which was done probably 20 years ago, that they were not supposed to have the main entrance to the Marions be up Pine Street, but guess where it is?
Right there.
And, and then the thing that we talk about often, the blowout of the retention pond that took out Pine Street, Vine Street, the constant flow that went into Heaton Court and ruined their driveways. The last thing that we're looking at now for the dormitory, where we've had one catastrophe after another. It's a constant. So when they get an emergency certification, which expires after 30 days and they continue to work, we wonder if they ever get that they are required to follow certain regulations that are relevant to what they're doing.
They don't care. I hate to say it, but when I walk up there and I see the mud, I mean, I should have brought you my shoes.
Sally, I don't know if you got the stormwater permit that we submitted recently, but the intent of that is actually to correct the issues part of it is to correct the issues coming down Pine Street by adding a swale on there and a rain garden. That's going to divert a lot of that water into a new mitigation system. Albeit there's more, another parking lot proposed as well, but that has its own stormwater.
So there was also
structure. So
a place that was supposed to be forever allowed to grow up along the south end of the property was supposed to be, could be mowed once a year, but it was supposed to be hayfield sort of. That never happened.
So it's the contractor that is responsible, is that correct?
Well,
Who's responsible?
I mean, ultimately it'd be the property owner, right? But I just want to reiterate the emergency permit. The emergency wasn't abated until this pump house is enclosed. So I think the idea was that they're finishing the building itself to get it insulated
So I think
before last Thursday, essentially, when it froze, because then the rental pump that they have as their only means of fire suppression is no longer operable because it'll freeze.
But
So they
the
continued on the
message,
building.
the message I'm hearing from the commission is just, next time, just come and say we need more
Sure.
time. I mean, I think that would have gone
Yeah, I
a
think
long
we
way
could.
to, rather than us to have reports of work continuing and we don't know what's going on. And so just
And then-
communication.
And then
Go
we
ahead.
could, just reiterate the point that, if you come to us, we can suggest things that may mitigate the risk. Now, in this case, I agree with David. I've been down there several times, and it doesn't look like there's been encroachment. But, to use a phrase, there but for the grace of God. A really big storm, and it would have been a mess down there. All of that would have gone into the bog. And they dodged a bullet this time. And we just want to, don't want those bullets flying anymore. We want people to pay attention to what the commission is requesting and what is legally required. It's really not that complicated.
And I think that we talked about this at the last meeting of going forward, requiring the engineer of record, the engineering company of record, to provide us with stages at which you will go and look at it and report back to us and say, they're doing this and that's been completed according to the plan, so that it doesn't sort of let go somewhere, which it seems like it's been doing way too often. We need control over this, how it's meant. I mean, the designs are fine in terms of preventing erosion or preventing things going sideways in the event of a big storm. But if the contractor doesn't do it in the order that it was specified and doesn't pay attention to the things that from our perspective are important, I mean, maybe their perspective is to get the pump house built. Our perspective is not to get the pump house built. We don't care one way or the other about the pump house. That's not what we're charged with understanding. And so for us, we have to see that Campoosapog is protected and the resource areas are protected and the plant life is protected. And, it's not that we don't have sympathy for them having to have a functioning fire prevention system, but that's not what we're all about. And we need to make sure that what goes forward is what was approved and that it's in the order in which it should happen.
Well, and we haven't approved an NOI yet.
No.
There isn't, that hasn't been approved. That's the catch-22 in all this.
But that's the intention of the order conditions too, is I think the groundwork stopped because it had been a sort of cease and desist order on moving material, and ultimately that area would be loamed and seeded around the building, and then final grading would be finished. And I think we held off on that, thinking of in terms of having the permit in place. And I certainly think David's right. Something should be done temporarily, at least to hold
So-
that soil in place.
And will you take that?
And we did have a-
recommendation back to your contractor?
Certainly, yeah. And we did have a phasing plan for the monastery building, and I think what happened there is all the stormwater mitigation was put in, but then when there was a big storm, it had actually been rerouted around the stormwater structures because they were trying to get the grass to grow to stabilize within it. And so, learning experience there, I think, it's functioning now, certainly, but they built all the stormwater
They couldn't,
basins.
they
and
couldn't
they
put
did
water in the
everything.
rain gardens because the grass wasn't growing yet.
So it is now redirected back to the stormwater.
Make this.
David?
Yeah, so I think the commission could get what it wants by issuing an order of conditions with special conditions, right? I look at this project as a project that is rehabilitation or reconstruction or replacement of existing infrastructure where infrastructure already existed within an existing lawn. And so I don't have a problem with the actual project. I think it's a reasonable project, and I just think, and this is like I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but the most important thing is to manage stormwater during the construction phase. And there's a bunch of, at least when I was there on October 2nd, there was a bunch of exposed soils around the footprint of that new pump house that were not stabilized. They were getting washed down towards the straw wattles and the silt fence. And I did not see any breaches, but that's what the commission should be most concerned with. And I think the commission can get what it needs by issuing an order of conditions and having very specific special conditions that require discrete stormwater management during the project.
Thank you.
Any other comments on this?
I'm gonna take pictures every day with my phone.
The stormwater application was just received. And so it's another 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and then another 2 weeks.
2 weeks
It's gonna be a month. It's
Before
gonna be
they-
a month before that's in place.
before they have to act. They get
Before they can act.
before they can act. So what they're doing now, when they're doing whatever they're doing, is basically illegal, correct?
No, it's a separate project.
Yeah, it's a separate.
It's a separate
stormwater
project.
separate.
So we have the notice of intent here, which we can vote on tonight if we choose. But then we have the stormwater component, which is a stormwater permit, which will be heard at the next meeting. And if we feel like we have enough information from the notice of intent to vote on the stormwater permit at the next meeting, it's still another 2 weeks before it gets signed. So that's a month. And then it's a 10-day appeal. Well, maybe not on the stormwater permit, I'm not sure.
So why don't we deal with the NOI for tonight? And did you send the stormwater to the whole commission? I didn't see it. You have it
I think it was
electronic?
the main email and the hard copy
Downstairs.
was delivered.
Okay, if that can go to the whole commission. I think.
I don't think it needs to be advertised, but it wasn't in before the 2-week deadline, so I wouldn't expect it to be on this agenda.
See it.
And I can certainly discuss that. I don't want to hold every.
Okay, so why don't we talk about what conditions we would want to see to approve the NOI? So one is stabilizing the soil. We hear you, David. Stabilizing the soil around the pump house. If we can add that as a condition.
How finalized is that pump house grade wise? Is it close to where it should be at the end of the project, or
Yeah,
are there any more
they
piles?
built it up just to have the pad at their correct elevation. I think the final grade is more or less there now. There's
Piles of soil down there that need to be moved?
Can they just I'm just curious, can't they just put some wood chips there to stabilize the soil before we get more rain? I mean, I'm just wondering, I mean, if it was my house, I'd go out there myself and dump wood chips or something to stabilize that soil.
My recommendation would probably be topsoil and hydroseed it. So
But-
that
but-
it's establishing something, because the wood chips is just.
Yeah, you're gonna need,
Pull it
the
back.
growing season's getting short here.
Yeah,
And if you don't get something down there, I don't know if it's gonna have enough season left to
grow.
hold.
Yeah, the only reason I suggested something like wood chips is because there's going to be foot traffic around the perimeter of the pump house, right? The contractors are going to have to be walking around that thing. And this time of year, it's going to be tough to get grass stabilized. I just toss that out as a possible option
Sounds-
because, you know, if you get wood chips spread around all those exposed soils, they can walk on top of those things without like sinking into the mud. They can do their work. The soils are not going to wash away, and then you can deal with it later. You can deal
I
with
agree with you, David. I agree with you, David.
So let's.
David, would you consider a seeded mat?
What do you mean by that?
Well, they have the mats with the seeds in them.
like erosion control blankets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's like overly complicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what would grow this late.
Yeah, it's,
You'll get color, but
but it's too getting,
I was trying to come up with something that would be like useful for the contractors actually walking around the perimeter of that building and also stabilizing the soils. And like, to me, wood chips are like a simple
definitely,
solution.
I think that's reasonable. And
Yeah.
also,
yes.
put another silt fence in.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's-
if you have to in the spring,
I'd like to see it happen before we even condition it. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it needs to happen right away.
We can condition that it happens right away.
Yeah.
And I think we should do, is there a sequence of work in here? I'm not seeing it, if there is.
Not for the pump house project. I think it was just done immediately into the 30 days and then it's meant to be reseeded. Part of why it didn't get reseeded is because Natural Heritage had some concern about what seed mix was used. And so we're looking into what seeds are actually in the seed mix that gets used, but
Okay, so we'll condition the wood chips and with a request
just temporarily.
for pictures by the next meeting that the wood chips are down. So that we know that it happened, even though we have eyes out there on a regular basis. But just so we know that it
But once
happened.
again, if we approve it tonight,
Mhm,
we don't sign the order of conditions until the 28th.
mhm.
So what I'm concerned about is between now and then.
That's what I'm saying, if we, as part of it, we say we want it done, say we want it done immediately.
Well, I'll certainly
Conditions.
emergency.
make that suggestion.
We dodged the bullet here. We could have had a lot of rain, which didn't happen. Which would have been a whole
Disaster.
other story, what's going on down there.
What other conditions are you thinking of, David? Anything
That's
else?
it. Just stabilizing the exposed soils. I mean, again, the project, the entire project is within an existing lawn. So I don't see any impacts to resource areas or priority habitat or estimated habitat from the actual project itself. But I think the commission's charge here is to make sure that there's no water quality impacts to Camp Hoosabog. And the way you do that is by making sure that the soils are stabilized.
What concerns did they have with the seed mix?
Well, initially they were just wondering what would be used because making sure that it's native.
All right, that's,
To be used because you can get different mixes.
so it's gonna be more or less a field, not a mowed lawn down there when it's gonna return it to what it was.
But yes, yeah, it'll be regular seed mix. They're just gonna check before they put it down to make sure that everything in it is native.
So why don't we just
Doesn't
add that as a
vary.
condition to that the seed mix be native? We don't get.
Well, then the notice of intent says that any plantings need to be native,
Yeah,
regardless of where it is,
Okay, so
or any order of conditions.
I would make a motion that we approve this NOI with the condition and with a report at the next meeting, either a report or pictures that the wood chips were actually placed down.
Your next meeting is the 20th.
Yeah, I think we just, we have a lot of broken records tonight, but my broken record is that this needs to happen right away,
Mhm.
even in spite of the fact the order of conditions has not been issued.
I agree.
Right. I will second.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Sally.
hi, Ron.
Lisa?
I, Bill L.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Chuck.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well. 35, 37 Interlaken.
Okay, we got David's review of the resource area delineation.
Have you folks seen a map of it? Do you know what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'll let you.
Speak to
What
it.
was that? I was,
I made some 11 by 17s, if that would help.
yeah,
It's always
please.
good.
Wouldn't hurt.
I was in a different state when you called and left the message there.
Oh,
So here's
sorry, I'm sorry you couldn't join me.
I'll go easy with that.
700 miles away.
Unless you want to scale on it, but that's, in yellow is the wetland boundary that we're talking about. And I'll let, David speak to the technicalities of it. I read his response, but just thought that might help as a visual aid.
When we get to deer.
David, you're on.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't have any problem at all with the delineation that Goddard Consulting did. The entire landform of this, of the developed portion of this property is like Armenia silt loam. And Goddard actually delineated wetlands that I thought were like pretty generous. Armenia silt loam is known to have inclusions of Candea, the Candea map unit, which are hydric soils. And I'm guessing that's what Goddard was seeing in the northern portion or the northwestern portion of the site, where they delineated wetlands that were actually within an upland map unit. I had no problem with the delineation. These soils, Armenia silt loam is a glacial till plateau type soil on the sides of ridges, and they're very difficult wetlands to delineate. The obvious wetlands were more than expansive per the delineation, and I had no problem with it. So I'd recommend the commission issue an order ad for this project.
One of the things that we noticed when we did the site visit years ago for a previous iteration of this project was that there were a lot of streams that came up and went down and came up and went down. So they were not contiguous, but they were clearly there. So based on my memory of that site visit, I think this looks like it's captured that.
Yeah, so a jurisdictional stream has to be down gradient of a freshwater wetland in order to be called a stream, right? So it has to be down gradient of a bog, a swamp, a marsh, a wet meadow, or something like that in an inland situation. I did not see any of those features up gradient of the wetlands that were delineated by Goddard. I thought the boundaries that they established were at least capturing the wetlands and probably more expansive than the actual wetlands at this particular site.
Yeah, they had been doing some forestry work, and it was pretty much along the wood road, the old wood road. I don't even know if it's still there. That this was something that we noticed because it was fairly significantly disturbed at the time. And it was hard to tell whether it would have been contiguous if it hadn't been disturbed. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the exact location of that was, but I didn't see anything that was missed in terms of wetlands.
I think.
So can I move that we accept this
Make a motion.
motion, to accept the abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, and accepting David's, fine job on our behalf to verify that.
Second,
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Ron.
Lisa.
Hi, Bill L.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Bill R.
Hi, Chuck.
And can I just ask a quick question while you're here? The status of the conservation restriction back there, what's going on?
That's in process. We have meetings weekly on the project. Our zoning permit requires a lot of work on the mansion. That's our first, that's kind of the gatekeeper for the entire development. So we've been very focused on that. But as a secondary issue to the developer, we have a different attorney working on the CR.
Okay.
We are engaging a surveyor to help us. The surveyor of record has less work to do than if we redid it. So we've hired them to get started creating the parcel. So it's happening. It's
Okay, just moving slow.
It's moving slow.
Okay.
My understanding was that had to be in place before anything happened.
I think the mansion can happen, but I don't think you need a CO, but I can check that for you.
Okay.
As far as the conditions.
Yeah, just keep us.
We're not ignoring it for
We like-
sure. So it's
I'd like to be updated, just.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, we want to come before you with some language and start that process.
Okay.
But for us, it felt like the surveyor needed to get started before the weather hit, so
Mhm.
we're trying to get that going.
Okay, and maybe, yeah, I'll make sure that's in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jim, we have David Handler too for you. Jim,
Oh, I'm sorry.
we have 5 Everett Road.
Oh, 5 Everett Road's continued because you have your site visit Friday.
Okay, all right.
Is that right?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yep.
Hey, I just didn't hear you. I thought.
Sometimes people have things to say even though it's continued.
No, I'm avoiding that. I don't know anything about that. I'll just get something.
Oh, we wouldn't want that.
All right, thank you.
Night, thank you.
Town of Stockbridge, Park Street.
And we got the,
See? I didn't
we
see
got
that in the
the, response from Heritage on that. They have some questions.
Look very.
So the, this is a project that's been going on for a while. It's to rehabilitate the Barry Hopkins Goodrich Bridge over the Housatonic River, which is at the end of Park Street. It leads to the Ice Glen, the suspension cable bridge there. And the idea when these plans are from the bridge engineer, JDB. And the idea is to rehabilitate the entire superstructure. So leaving in place the stone abutments, the nice stone mortar abutments, and then just replacing all the cables and steel work. And so we submitted a notice of intent. Like Sally said, Natural Heritage came back with some minor conditions. They were essentially, we just confirmed that there's no real disturbance outside of the footprint of the existing bridge. So they said, using erosion and sediment control, which of course we'd have in place, and then no cutting or removal of woody vegetation. So the only expansion of this footprint at all is to enlarge these deadman anchors slightly to encase the new anchor cables in them. So it's some concrete work within the footprint of the
Will the old
existing
anchors,
pathway.
will the old anchors be taken out and new ones built?
I believe they'll be left in place and just expanded to encapsulate the new
A bigger chunk of cement.
more or less, yeah.
Will it still go like this when you walk on it?
I think it'll still have the same character, just a little bit less rusty.
you
Starter,
won't
so-
feel as nervous
More
when you
spring.
step on it.
Or spring?
Yeah,
So it's replacing all the cable, and all the cable stays. The decking, I believe, will be is it Trex decking, something, composite decking.
Yeah.
And then the steel work as well for the railings. So this will all be done without any impact to the actual river. It's completely spans the,
Will the whole bridge have to be taken down and then rebuilt?
I think so.
I'm just asking.
Yes? Yes? Or not?
Well, they're replacing the cables, so I think they're gonna run the new cables to support the structure and then replace the decking on the new cables and then remove the old ones. So I doubt you'd want to walk across it during that process.
No, I don't think I will.
Uh,
But I have a question because I keep meaning to bring it up if I may interrupt. At the end of Lincoln Lane,
Lincoln.
there must have been a bridge at some point across the river there. Do you know where I'm speaking of?
No.
Is anybody familiar with this?
Yes.
I think it's the old truck from the old trolley system.
Yeah, I think it was the trolley system. I think Bill's correct.
So I've always wondered why they haven't done something at the end of that, where there used to be a bridge. I'm concerned about the erosion. There's a tremendous fall off from the land in there. And I always wonder about that. And occasionally I've seen kids in the spring, summer, and even in the early fall. Have you ever happened to walk down there? And they are fishing down there. And I'm concerned about what's left of that bridge. Do you know what I'm speaking of, Sally?
Sort of.
So anyway, I keep meaning, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've just been curious about that.
Well, it's something maybe we should investigate.
I'll take pictures.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's off subject, but it made me think of it when you started talking about a bridge again.
All right, did we have a timeline for this start?
That I don't have. I don't think it would happen this year, but I can't confirm that. I think once the permits are in place, it has to go out to bid. So
I didn't see any problems with it. I'd be happy to make a motion to approve the NOI for the bridge on Park Street.
I make a motion that we proceed.
Second, Rich, she just made.
Oh, I second it, sorry.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Ron.
Lisa?
Hi, Bill Lil.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Bill R.
Hi, Chuck.
Okay,
Sometimes it's easy, huh?
one easy.
it sounds like you have a full schedule for site visits, but it would be possible to get one for Interlake and Cross Road. It's on the upcoming business, but I didn't know.
Okay, we have a site visit. Site visit
Friday the 24th.
Friday the 24th.
That would work for me.
0 Interlake and Cross Road.
Yeah, it'd be across from number 12. So this is the east side of the swamp. Just some access improvements.
So 3:45? How long the first one? 4 o'clock?
Yeah, we should be able to.
3:45. Where are we going before that?
The barn at,
Lake Drive.
44.
So what time? 4 o'clock?
3:45.
3:45 to 20.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be here. That's when I'm not gonna be here.
We'll miss you.
I like going to church. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's all I have. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
David, are you done or do you have more to say?
I think the items that I was working on, you guys have already addressed, but let me know if I'm mistaken.
I have quite, has anybody been near 0?
Dugway?
Dugway?
Um,
I've been gone for almost 2 weeks on.
I was there also on October 2nd. And, but there hadn't been any recent rain there, Ron, so
So nothing that
yeah,
changed.
yeah, there wasn't much information I could collect with no recent rain.
Did I hear in the forecast for rain all next week?
Um, I'm not sure. I haven't looked,
I-
haven't looked that far ahead.
Yeah,
I don't know either, but
just cold. It's gonna get cold tonight, I think.
Thursday definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
So do you want to stick around or do you want to go home?
I guess I would defer to the commission. If there's something that you need me to be there for, I'll stick around.
Hey, look,
Of course, you're always welcome, but I value your time too.
I had another Concom meeting before this one tonight, believe it or not.
nice.
No one should go to two
Okay, that's living
meetings.
dangerous.
I don't see anything else. We don't have the stormwater permit for the pump house yet,
Okay.
or for Eden, stormwater updates for Eden Hill.
Mowing your wetland ice Glen.
I went and looked at that and
Well,
I,
why don't we just finish?
Yeah.
Do you want to go or you want to stay?
I don't think,
You tell me whether you need me or not, Lisa.
I don't think we have
I think
anything for David at this time. Unless you have a thought about the new clean energy proposals and how that might affect the
I'm
Concom.
not sure. I'm not sure I even have an opinion on that. I haven't reviewed that stuff.
Okay. In that case.
Have a good evening.
Thanks,
Okay,
David.
folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
You bet. Nice to see you. Bye now.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, what do we got here to sign?
Yeah,
Aaron,
well, we've
Aaron.
got, we have the emergency certification from Beaver Solutions on Route 7, the culvert, which is a sort of an ongoing thing.
Kind of a shaggy dog or whatever.
Yeah. If they beavers dam it up every once in a while.
Mhm.
I don't think we can say anything about it because it's really
Board of Health.
it's the Board of Health that issues the emergency and
Mhm.
Not of our jurisdiction.
it's kind of nothing we can say about it.
Okay.
Um,
beavers, we can say.
the new clean energy proposals, I don't know if people have seen those and had a chance to look at them.
I've seen.
Tomorrow is their deadline. They gave people like ridiculously short amount of
Mhm.
time to review them. Kate Fletcher and I both attended their
Mhm.
online
Okay, good.
proposals.
Good.
It's a horrifying project. We are so going to get steamrolled potentially.
How did we get such a short amount of time?
They have their act so on together that it's truly amazing. Listening to, Kate went to the one, I think, not on the Cape, but somewhere out in Eastern Mass. There was one in Eastern Mass. I think there was one on, I don't know, they had 4 different ones. I went to the one that was, supposedly Western Mass, but it was in Amherst or Northampton or someplace. And so, when you could comment on what they were saying. And I said, well, there's a whole fifth of the state on the other side of where you are, and you didn't come out here to see us. But the concerns were what people from Shutesbury were freaking out over the idea of the lithium battery installations, which if it went sideways and caught fire, which we know that they do, could impact the Quabbin Reservoir, which would be really, really bad.
Boston.
For Boston.
Yeah. For everybody.
That's
I
where it
mean,
goes.
because
Yeah, for everybody,
apparently
that's-
most of the people in that area, and it's fairly rural, but most of the people in that area are dependent on the
They're still
Quabbin for their
big.
water. And there is no alternative. So if the Quabbin were to be contaminated by a lithium battery facility fire, it would be irreparable. And there was another speaker from somewhere in the I think in the Blackstone Valley, although I was a little vague as to where they were, that said that the entire area is over an aquifer. And it has a sandy soil on top of it. So once again, if one of these things went sideways, it could contaminate an enormous area of people's drinking water. I mean, there's no recourse. So it seemed to me that they had not addressed most of the concerns that people had. They just sort of went forward because the governor told them to.
Did they
And
listen to the concerns?
they listened, but tomorrow's the deadline. So they have until Friday for written comments. But it just seemed like, if you'll pardon my French, a totally half-assed organization for this thing. They just did not get it together at all. I mean, it's another indication of trying to have a one-size-fits-all, sort of similar to the seasonal housing. And one size just does not fit all. You can't say what goes for Boston or goes for the Cape, goes for the Berkshires. It just doesn't. And they had sizes that they specified of 25 kilowatts per hour, 25, that they wouldn't really have to even come before the Conservation Commission. I mean, I don't think that we're going to, and then they were talking about having this blanket permitting thing where it was going to come, they have a whole year to approve it, but it was going to come to, their first idea was the town clerk to review it for completeness, for everything. I mean, it's not like Terry doesn't have enough to do along with other towns. One other town said their town clerk only works 4 hours a week. So someone else suggested that maybe like we do with the notice of intent, that if one of these projects came before us, that we could require a peer review, like we just did with the
It's a good idea.
35, 37 Interlaken, which the applicant would pay for. So if it were a large project, that would certainly be a reasonable thing for a town, particularly a small town, to have. And the other thing is, it was not at all clear as to what the breaking point was. There was a whole thing that between rooftop installations versus a ground installation. But if you had, for instance, an older house, that the infrastructure of the house wouldn't support a solar panel, but you wanted to put it in your backyard, would that make it a whole different ball game? And would you have to go through this whole rigmarole to get it permitted? It was just crazy.
Thanks
So wait, so what is the bottom line? Tomorrow is the last day
for comments.
But then what's the next step?
They're gonna put it forward, I guess.
And is
Does that have to come for a vote to the citizens? Or is
I don't think so.
this legislative?
I
They
think
have
it's
approved?
legislative. I just got a couple of emails from Kate on this subject, because I had talked to her earlier, Kate Fletcher, because she I mean, this might require zoning. Some towns, I guess we're maybe gonna have to rezone for where you could do certain things and where you couldn't do certain things. I mean, it's a huge project. And there's no time to make a lot of sense of it, as far as I could see. Why does this keep coming up? Very strange. But anyway, so, if you get a chance, Kate says the challenge is that the public hearing for the draft regulations is tomorrow. and I doubt they continue it. The deadline for written comments to DOER is Friday at 5. She's working, so she really can't do anything. We're out of time. The timeline the governor handed us is
Way too
short.
Yeah, way too short.
And it doesn't look like they're gonna continue it.
Yikes.
So it's,
I
and
had-
I had some really grave concerns about the site placement and general prioritization. Like, how do they decide
Where it's gonna go.
on what can be done? I mean, originally, I think people were very concerned about them taking farmland,
Or taking,
But
cutting
they're-
down trees.
but they're talking about, it sounded maybe like they'd gotten some good sense and that they're going to have some committee that makes the decision as to whether a site is appropriate for this or not.
Okay.
And that they have categories of what would be
That's
a
good.
good plan.
That's good.
But there doesn't seem to be any appeal from the towns saying, yeah, no. You know, it may
How many
work.
sites they looking to?
I don't know. She really is hot on having
A
a
lot.
huge solar
Yeah.
component of our town, of our state energy by 2050. So that's,
And is the energy going to the places where it is, where the fields are, or is all the energy going east?
I don't know.
Because that was another concern.
Yeah.
That a lot of the energy would be
But-
going to Boston and not to rural places.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I just don't think that I don't think
They're moving
they've
too
got it
fast, it
together at
sounds like.
all.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty alarming.
So this project would be completed by 2050 or is going to start in 20?
No, I think.
No, she wants to have the solar, be the main
Mhm.
source of
Energy.
energy for the state by 2050.
By 2050.
Yeah.
But it's a question of what kind of timeline, like how are they going to divvy up this part of the state, that part of the state? In other words, are we all going to have to be by 2050, or is it going to be, they're going to be different
Don't know.
deadlines for different,
No, I think statewide is.
statewide by 20?
Initially, statewide was 20.
So there has to be some kind of a plan put in place.
They haven't even picked the locations yet.
No,
So it's, there's no plan at the moment. It's paperwork.
yeah, and 20.
And each project
Pretty quickly.
has a year for it to go through the
Permitting.
permitting
Oh,
process.
that's
But
fast.
then the permitting process may be
It's fast.
condensed so that boards don't individually have a right to review, depending on what level the project is. So,
Wow.
the Concom may not have anything to say about it.
And who's going to pay for it?
Well, I'm assuming that it's a contractor.
Yeah, but I mean, is it going to be funded by the state and matched by federal grants, I wonder?
Is there going to be any federal?
These are
That's what I know.
No federal money.
these are independent contractors that are going to build these facilities
Yeah,
to make money.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back to an earlier thing on the agenda, if we could.
Okay,
Just
anyway.
under to sign for Mohammed Zabian.
Mhm.
What, is he doing anything? Yeah, I mean, this has been on forever.
I know,
We need to
I haven't
reach out to
heard,
him.
was
But-
with Mark Stinson last time. I mean, he was
But
working with Mark to get it finalized, and so far I haven't heard.
But can you reach out to them?
Yeah,
Because
I'll
it's
talk to
been,
Mark about it.
it's been like forever.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah, and he's probably using the property the way he wants to, but he didn't get the right permitting, so he needs to do that. So if we can have it in the minutes to reach out and get something going on. Thank you.
And then the cutting at Mackinac Terrace,
Oh,
It was done.
so what was there before? I went and looked, but I couldn't see anything.
I mean,
Without
I
walking
think there
on
was,
somebody's property.
there was some sort of brush on the bank. I mean, there was, it wasn't open, it wasn't bare soil like it is now.
Was it plantings that had been, that we had requested that were there?
I have no idea. I mean, I think they were just, there were sort of native plants along the bank, just kind of like it is on most of those properties. They're not the only ones in the terrace that do this, I would also say, but this was just obvious, brand new, just done,
Right down to the water.
right down to the soil. I mean, it was just
And all the way down to.
all the way down to the.
Yeah, I mean, we have a
bank
picture of it.
it.
I wrote to them and told them that they had to be here, they had to respond. And I sent a registered letter, I got the confirmation that it had been received. And we have heard nothing.
Where is the letter?
So
Do you have a name?
Yes. I said, the Stockbridge Conservation Commission has received a report, including a photograph regarding work on your property at 11 Mackinac Terrace. Appears that there has been clearing to the shore of the lake, but the town bylaw require a 35-foot vegetated buffer along the lake. Buffer zones are also required in the town's wetland bylaws. Please respond immediately with an explanation of this work. Failure to do so could result in illegal action being taken.
okay.
And I sent that on October 2nd.
October 2nd.
And it was
On there with the
received.
docks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big white house that's now 2 stories. It used to be 1 story, modern.
It doesn't say when it was received,
So the smaller cottage.
but I do have a signature.
Is that near the camp?
So
Am I right?
I would suggest a second notice, and that failure to respond to this notice will result in a
So
fine.
if you're coming north on the main road, Mackinac, take the first left on the Mackinac.
I can't remember whether
It's like, would be.
this was a project that they were planning to
That's what I-
plant.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Well, they may be, but
Well, we should ask.
So,
But you'd think if they did, if it were, because I looked for it, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the name in any of our records. You'd think if that were the case, she would have written back and said, or emailed or something
Right.
saying, we
This
had
is per
an
plan.
order of conditions and this was part of our order of conditions and we're doing what we were supposed to do.
right. But she did. So my suggestion was one more letter saying if you don't respond, this will result in a fine.
Well, legally, if you send a letter and return receipt requested because she had a sign for it, somebody had a sign that they received it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got it.
So usually,
But I don't see anybody here.
so
So let's try one more time and then we find it. If people agree.
Ask if they have a current order of conditions or any other paperwork from the town permitting.
Yeah, because I couldn't find it. But
What's the address here again?
11 Mackinac Terrace.
Thank you.
You're on it, Bill.
I couldn't see anything
place it, place it.
from the road.
it's a smaller cottage back on further from the road.
So,
Garage.
you'd have to go out in a kayak to see it, I guess.
A brand new house that's tall,
That big house?
not a huge house, but but on the opposite side of the road.
Okay.
That
I
is,
think I know what you're talking about now.
it's sort of tall
All
and
right.
gray and looks like they never finished around the basement.
Bridge. Zero.
I think we're good.
Beaver Solutions, Clean Energy, Ice Glen, Mackinac, Gate Park.
I haven't heard anything further from Katie on the skate park. I don't know what she's thinking.
Eden Hill, and Agricultural Forestry Commission. Yeah,
No big, we submitted an application for Stockbridge to be a Tree City USA,
yeah,
which would be nice.
kind of treated we planting from the library.
A crabapple,
Is it?
crabapple that'll have a straight,
Right.
I asked for a thornless hawthorn and they delivered a hawthorn with thorns about this big.
That would have been good for
Although-
Main Street.
Yeah, for Main Street, the library, so the big back. And it'll be a pretty crabapple.
All right, so this is the determination of applicability for 27 East Street. We also had the jurisdictional, but we need to sign this. It's for the removal of 2 trees, pine trees. We have the certificate of compliance for the pay runs. I'm not quite sure what to do with this because I don't have a mailing address. I just have their physical address, and they're the trustee of the Larry Walk Land Trust, to whom the original notice or order of conditions was. It was Lou Ogiana who died recently.
Can you call them?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was the one-man show. I don't know whether he,
No, we could pay them.
I can try and get in touch with the pay runs. I don't, and I have their phone number, I don't think, but I see her walking. I know she's interested.
There's a voicemail that came by.
Yeah, I saw that.
Money.
But that came from Jennifer, and I told Jennifer it would be out, but I'll see if I can get some number from her. This is the determination for the pit runs, for the driveway and the culvert.
That's it?
Who wants to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion and we adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Hi,
Ron.
Sally.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Phil.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks.